I mean, I thought our transfer issues last time were a problem. Borussia Dortmund have just signed Marco Asensio, and then he's immediately handed in a transfer request because they didn't bring in anyone else to help him settle. But they do apparently want 250 million for him, which I think is maybe pushing it a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more Chelsea. It's Chelsea, clearly, here on the channel. And January is over. We have survived, and we have survived with everyone intact. No one has left. Christian Pulisic is still here. He's still unhappy, but at this point, he can't do anything about it. He is still here. He's actually only unhappy internally. He's not actually complained to anyone else. So hopefully he stays that way. Hopefully he stays professional and just gets on with the job. Because really, the job is going very well indeed so far. This is the first month in the save where we have just won every single game, and we actually haven't conceded a goal all month as well, which surely will come to an end today because I've started recording. But obviously last time the wins against Man United and against Leeds United as well, we have followed that up with some very solid performances. All games that you would expect us to win, of course, but you have to actually go out there and do it. And we certainly have. We began with a 1-0 win against Brighton and Hove Albion. Mason Mount with a penalty, pretty straightforward. Then we played Birmingham. It did some rotation, and maybe this is an important lesson for me this season. Actually, rotating the team is a smart thing to do because we still won without any real trouble at all. 3-0. Hudson-Odoi, Depay, and Kovacic with the goals in that one. We then played Fulham, and we had to wait a while. It was a lovely ball from Tonali to Reina perfectly across for Kai Havertz, a classy finish from the German to give us the lead. 89 minutes almost on the clock when he put that one away. We left it late, would have been very annoyed because, as you can see there, Fulham amassed an XG of 0, not a single shot on target or any shot at all. So yeah, would have been, they came to defend, they nearly got away with a point. We did manage to get there in the end. Then we are safely through in the FA Cup as well. A 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Reina, Havertz and Werner with a goal. That's the first, it's a penalty, but it's his first goal for a very long time. That's the disappointment from this season so far, really. Obviously last year, red hot form from Timo Werner. 19 goals in the league, 22 overall, was the joint top scorer in the division. This year, he's scored 1 Premier League goal and 5 goals in all competitions. Yes, Tammy Abraham has been starting ahead of him, but the reason he's been starting ahead of him is because he just hasn't been scoring when he's been playing. He's had opportunities, he's played, where he started 10 games in the league, come off the bench in 9, and, well, not done much with it. And then the two most recent games, a 1-0 win against West Ham. It was a narrow scoreline, but it was a pretty dominant performance. And then a 2-0 win against Southampton. Kante and Depay with the goals there. I feel like we've played West Ham and Southampton about 15 times already in the save. I don't really think that's true. I mean, once again, it is doing that weird thing with the fixture list whereby we haven't even played Brentford once, and we've got to play them twice in March and April in the league. We also got them in the FA Cup 5th round, so 3 times in 2 months playing Brentford. And again, we've got to play Everton twice, we've got to play Man City twice, we've not played them yet. I mean, it's gone very, very strange indeed. But today we will be playing Bournemouth in the Premier League, a return to the Premier League at the first time of asking for them. They're in 14th, doing okay. And then the first leg of our Champions League knockout round against RB Leipzig. So we'll look at the Premier League table as well, because for the first time in what feels like forever, Liverpool have actually not got a game in hand. Everyone in the top half has played 25 matches, and we now find ourselves with that excellent run of games still in second, because obviously one day we might be top of the league and we might stay there, but not yet, because Liverpool, as good as we've been, Liverpool are just good too. They've got 1 point more than us, and we're only 2 points clear of Manchester United as well. They're very good. Big gap to Arsenal and Spurs, so we're looking pretty good for Champions League, which is all the board want this season. But I want more, I want to win, and we're certainly in the conversation. And as you would probably hope and guess, we have one Manager of the Month for January as well, to go very nicely on the old mantelpiece with the one for December. You wait a year and a half for one award, and then 2 come along at once. I should also say as well, Cesar Azpilicueta has signed a new contract, which is good. And Andreas Christensen wanted to leave as well to join Inter Milan, and he's happy to stay, but I may have promised him that he will be a star player, which, I mean, he's not even getting on the bench at the moment, given how well Malang Sarr's done. So that might come back to haunt me, but I think we'll be all right. For now, the team is looking like this. Then Donnarumma is going to be in goal. Chilwell, Bastoni, Tamori and James at the defence. Tonali, Kante and Mount in midfield. Now Ziyech is going to be starting on the right hand side. He's back from the African Cup of Nations. Callum Hudson-Odoi lacking a bit of fitness at the moment. Christian Pulisic is going to have to come in on the left hand side despite being unhappy because Memphis Depay has got, again, a bit of an injury, pretty minor injury. I think it's just a gashed leg. He'll be back for the Leipzig game, but he's going to sit this one out. So we'll go with Pulisic. Hopefully he can just play well, and that'll help his morale out. And otherwise, he'll just kind of stink up the joint, and we can bring on Werner or Havertz. Tammy Abraham obviously up front as well for this one. Can we keep up our incredibly impressive run? It's been going well. Inevitably, been doing this for a while now. What will happen is we will now lose this one just because I started to record. That's just how it works. There we are, looking very nice, very fresh, ready to go. 6 games in a row, which we have won. It's more than that, but that's our recent form. Bournemouth, not quite so good. Not quite so good. They've got Solanke up front, but Troy Parrott as well. He is dangerous. A win today would see us go top of the table, but Liverpool, of course, have yet to play. Let's see if we can get it done. Well, we're not really getting it done. It's one of those first halves. There's been a few this season where absolutely nothing has happened. Not a single thing. Not happy with your performance. Everyone's a bit more motivated now, apart from Tonali. He's a bit nervous. Let's see an improvement in the second half because, as before, we've seen nothing. I mean, we might need to go for this. I feel. They've just had their first shot, so I feel they're kind of doing what Fulham did, which was just sit back and hope they can get a point. Some, 2 solid banks of 4 there. We'll go attacking. Very defensive lineup from Bournemouth again. We've picked a great one here. We've been on a great run of form, scored plenty of goals, and now we've got 10 minutes left, and there's not been a single piece of action whatsoever. But finally, something. We made a change. Havertz is on. He's on the ball. Swings it out to Ziyech, who we haven't seen much of recently. He's been away on a trip. Bit of a holiday for him. I don't actually know what happened in the African Cup of Nations. We'll check in a minute. Is he going to score? He's not. It's been cleared by Lerma. That was the most exciting thing that's happened today. Right, Reina and Werner on just to hopefully do something. I mean, there's a minute left. We've been attacking for basically the entire second half, and it's safe to say they've conned us out of 2 points there. Obviously, we start recording, and the glorious winning run comes to an end in the most pathetic fashion imaginable. A 0-0 draw with Bournemouth. They've got an XG of 0.02. We saw one highlight. I wouldn't even call it a shot. Not good enough, boys. Not good enough at all. Need to be seeing more. We should be in the form we're in. In the form we're in. You don't know that I'm recording this, do you? You don't know that. You don't know people are watching. We said earlier that Timo Werner has not scored many this season. Tammy Abraham now entering a goal drought of his own. I mean, it's a concern that neither of our strikers is actually scoring. They were both pretty decent last year. Abraham was good towards the start of the season. Neither of them performing in this one. And I think when we come to the game against Leipzig in a few days' time, 11 days' time, Werner is definitely going to start that one. Well, that's very nice, isn't it? That's very nice after all the nonsense we put up with last time and just generally poor performance in the previous game. Christian Pulisic no longer wants to leave because he doesn't believe Real Madrid actually want to sign him anymore. So at least that's sorted. But you could have done that a little bit less drama next time maybe. And instantly the club atmosphere is now back up to excellent, which really it should be given how well we've been playing apart from that previous draw. All right, let's hope for something a little bit more exciting against Leipzig. I mean, obviously we have such an amazing run of wins, and then we start recording, and I mean, at least we didn't lose, I suppose. We have to take that as a positive. Now that Christian Pulisic is suddenly happy again, now that the transfer window is closed anyway, we can immediately just bring back in Depay and put him back in the side. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of options. Suddenly, all 4 of our wingers are actually happy. Pulisic can be on the bench for this one. We will give Depay the game, though, because he has played very well recently. Timo Werner is going to come in as well, given the fact that he has scored a goal slightly more recently than Tammy Abraham. Need to see both of them performing better, though, otherwise it's going to be a striker at the top of my shopping list in the summer. I think actually I'm going to bring Hudson-Odoi back in now he's fit as well. Ziyech hasn't really particularly impressed me recently either. Right then, away game against Leipzig, obviously difficult. I mean, they've got Sorloth up front, Crystal Palace legend in that one. I mean, I want to win this one. Obviously, last year the Champions League didn't go as well as we would like. There was some difficulties. Let's see if we can actually well, do things a bit better this year. Obviously, we did successfully get through the first couple of rounds, and let's hope we get off to a good winning start today, get some away goals, and don't concede. Okay, I'm just going to have to talk about nothing, am I? But half an hour gone, nothing. Is that how teams have worked out what to do? They just sit back, just defend with all the players and do absolutely nothing. We've had one highlight in the entire episode in a game and a half nearly. Come on, can we do something? Once again, no efforts at all from Leipzig. Nothing. I'm not happy with the performance out there. I mean, are they settling for a point? Are they trying to settle for a point at home against us? I mean, that's a bit like not really much effort from them there. Finally, there's the highlight. Of course, Timo Werner against his former club. Hopefully he can be on the score sheet. There's a missed tackle. Chilwell's found some space. Can he find a cross into the box? He's been flattened by Tyler Adams, and I mean they're looking at a penalty. I'm hoping it's going to be a penalty. I'd be concerned if it wasn't a penalty. And indeed, a penalty is given, and it will be, I believe, Mason Mount to take this, or is it going to be Werner? I didn't see. It's Mount. Oh, good. He's the usual one, and he usually scores, and he scores here today. Finally, a goal. Finally, something. It's 50 minutes into the second game. We've actually had a goal. Mason Mount with his 7th of the season. I think he's our second top scorer at this point now, given how lacking in goals, how profligate our strikers have been. Well, we've got an away goal already. Very nice indeed. Leipzig appear to still be doing nothing. Chilwell again on the left-hand side. Knocked down from Depay to Mount. Gets it back. Goes for the shot. He's cracked it against the crossbar. Very unlucky from the Dutchman. We've got a corner. Depay to put it in. Werner. Very unlucky. Oh, Leipzig have actually had a shot on target. It's moved their old XG up very slightly. Well, I mean, we're going to make some changes. Werner has not done particularly well against his old club. He can now come off, and then we'll bring on Kovacic for the final few minutes. Why not? Why not? I mean, we've had games this season that have had about 15 highlights, and we've had 2 games here that have had less than 5 between them. It's going to be a win. It's going to be an incredibly uneventful win. Very, very uneventful. RB Leipzig 0, Chelsea 1. They didn't really do much, but at least we got a goal. We've got the win. We've got an away goal going back to Stamford Bridge in a few weeks' time. Pretty happy with that. Not very entertaining, but pretty happy with it. And Liverpool winning their game from the most recent round of fixtures. A 91st minute winner from Andy Robertson against Southampton, because obviously, and we're now in third. We're now 3 points behind Liverpool and level on points with Manchester United, because obviously the only game we haven't scored in, in fact the only game where the full first 11 pretty much has played that we haven't scored in since Leicester back in November. Not great really. Especially not because we're trying to entertain people here, aren't we? But we're very much still in it. We're still fighting on 3 different fronts: the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. We are there. We were there last season. It didn't quite go to plan, but this year I'm feeling more optimistic. We will be back next time. It's going to have to be the Leipzig game, the second leg, because it's evenly poised. They didn't do much, but we will be back for that, as well as Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League as well. Hopefully we will be safely through to the FA Cup quarter-final as well. If we get past Brentford, that would be appreciated. But we're getting towards the business end of the season. Not many games left. This is looking particularly crucial. In fact, we're playing Man City before them as well. City, Liverpool, and then Man United in a row. That will, I think, be deciding who wins the Premier League this season, and something to look forward to for the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. Some other interesting things coming soon on the channel at some point, but this is not going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.